Interesting facts on Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is one of the most practiced martial arts in the world. While all types of martial arts are tough to handle, did you know that the sport is tougher to handle than most? Despite being named as a gentle sport, there's actually a lot of things going on in it. In this video, we're going to talk about all interesting facts in the world of Jiu-Jitsu. So sit back and relax, and let's get right into it. Number 10. The sport is tougher than other martial arts. I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge that almost all forms of martial arts can help you develop your strength, stamina, and discipline. However, it may come as a surprise that not every martial art is successful in actual combat. Bet you didn't know that. Many martial arts place a strong emphasis on the instruction of kata, strikes, and positions that are rarely used in actual combat. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one sport that deviates from this rule. Jiu-Jitsu has always been a fantastic martial art, but the Brazilians gave it toughness and grit that applied to real-world situations. It's one of the most practical martial arts because it places a strong emphasis on grappling and submission. Number 9. It's a sport of many cultures. Jiu-Jitsu has a unique and complicated cultural past. The classical version, as they'd call it, was produced in Japan, but there's evidence that the martial art may have come from other parts of Asia, specifically Egypt or India. It only changed into the contemporary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu after being introduced to South America by the Japanese diplomat Maeda Mitsuyo. Mitsuyo helped it come into being in the first decade of the 1900s. Before the Brazilians changed the name to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he received training in judo and incorporated classical jiu-jitsu in the movements. Mitsuyo relocated to Brazil and founded an academy to offer official instruction in this style. Over the years, however, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the most well-liked, useful, and well-known variation of martial arts in the modern era. Number 8. It's an MMA favorite. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been embraced by many iconic figures, especially MMA fighters. It's one of the most popular stances in the league. You can be sure that whatever these fighters advocate must be good because they deliberately combine as many styles as they can to produce the best real-world circumstances. Due to its popularity, you have a greater chance of running into other practitioners who can give you inspiration and guidance. You can also do some online research to get advice and find even more amazing dojos. The fact that most people view Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a way of life rather than a sport is another factor contributing to its popularity. Every training session offers you a fresh learning opportunity. The sport's principles are comparable in that they can be used in regular situations. Jiu-Jitsu, for instance, teaches fighters how to maximize effectiveness with little effort, take advantage of opportunities, and prioritize technique over strength. You can use these ideas to find solutions to issues in regular life. Additionally, it affects how people sleep and how they eat. Number 7. Black belts are hard to get. In the field of Jiu-Jitsu, a black belt is harder to earn. Achieving the rank of black belt is a true honor, and it's not open to those under the age of 18. This is one way to determine whether the practitioners of this art are dedicated enough to achieve the highest ranking. Black belt systems are common in martial arts competitions and are well known. For instance, in karate, there are different levels that a competitor must reach to win the coveted title. The same is true of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, with the exception that this has a much more rigid system than other types of martial arts. Each belt level requires a lot of practice, so when a fighter achieves black, a feat that can take up to 10 years, it's a huge victory. A black belt can be attained in less than 5.5 years for those who learn more quickly and can master techniques. In reality, obtaining a black belt typically takes 10 years, occasionally even longer. Number 6. Jiu-Jitsu's origins came from Japan. We must go back to Japan to comprehend the history of Jiu-Jitsu completely. Japanese samurai used art as the last line of self-defense in combat. Expert in judo, Jigoro Kano founded the Kodokan in the late 1800s, where a group of students received training in real-world combat methods. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu didn't start to take shape until one of the students from the school, Mitsuyo Maeda, decided to travel to Brazil. Maeda made adjustments and advancements by using his judo knowledge. The advancements made by this fighter, who was born in Japan, helped Jiu-Jitsu become what it is today. Number 5. Jiu-Jitsu translates to gentle art. Contrary to popular belief, Jiu-Jitsu is less about brutal fighting and more about technique and fluid movements. The words Ju and Jitsu are translated as gentle and art, respectively. As a result, the sport is a gentle art, with competitors concentrating primarily on grappling execution. Jiu-jitsu evolved from judo, a less than gentle martial art, even though there are many reasons why it isn't gentler than other martial arts. Jiu-jitsu is kinder than other martial arts and appropriate for all ages, but could still be deadly if not done properly. It's very adaptable and can be used for both self-defense and top-level competitive fighting, like in MMA. Number 4. Jiu-jitsu is a way to boost confidence and mental toughness. Jiu-jitsu teaches you how to defeat bigger, stronger opponents by choking, submitting, or other means. This not only makes it very effective for self-defense and street fights, but also gives you more confidence. But the price to pay is that it takes a lot more time than usual to master. You don't see results right away. You'll frequently be submitted, be choked out, or tapped out during the first few months. However, you gain patience and mental toughness in addition to technique. Number 3. Strong fan communities exist for Jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is not always considered to be among the most well-known and well-liked sports, such as basketball, football, and tennis. Nevertheless, a lot of people aren't aware that the sport has a sizable and devoted fan base. Although watching a game can be very exciting and entertaining for those who are familiar with the sport, it can be challenging for those who are not. Fans of martial art enjoy going to live matches and following their favorite athletes. In addition to this, a different activity that a lot of sports fans enjoy is sports betting. However, not as many betting sites offer BJJ because it's not as well known as other professional sports. It won't be long before the majority of online sportsbook offer commonplace jiu-jitsu betting options as top providers increase their online presence with free bets and other promotional offerings. The sport is one of the martial arts styles that is expanding the fastest right now, and it only gets better from here. Number 2, it doesn't call for a lot of athletic ability. Unlike how it's perceived by many people, the sport doesn't require a lot of athletic ability. Instead of injuring the opponent, jiu-jitsu aims to render them helpless. Punches and fighting are not the focus of the game. In addition to promoting physical and mental fitness, the sport also emphasizes learning how to defend oneself from attacks. Even a slim and diminutive person can learn to subdue a much bigger and more spirited foe. In contrast to a sport like wrestling, martial art can be very technical, relying on sweeps, locks, chokeholds, reversals, transitions, and escapes. Number 1. Jiu-jitsu is a form of meditative art. Jiu-jitsu teaches students how to be present at the moment. One of the strongest cases of jiu-jitsu's health advantages is this one. Training in jiu-jitsu aids in our comprehension of the nature of our current emotions. We can experience happiness, excitement, sadness, fear, frustration, anger, and hate in the present, rather than dwelling on the past or the future. It's a way for us to learn more about our inner selves and keep ourselves from becoming mirrored in the emotions that have the power to control us. You simulate battle scenarios where you have to survive against one or more enemies when you practice. In contrast to simply reacting out of habit or fear, the sport teaches you to recognize situations and take the appropriate action. Martial arts have a clear physical component that can assist people in overcoming some negative emotions. Being aware of and in touch with the body is a direct route to the here and now. It may significantly affect how we feel and how we handle our emotions. And that's it for our interesting facts and a little history of jiu-jitsu. Don't hesitate to comment down your thoughts and what shocked you the most. Comment, like, and share. Click the bell button to stay updated. Catch you in the next one.